Let's watch Wizardry 101. This guy seems to think that wizardry is real or something.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Dun, 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 dun.
Today is an important episode because it'll give you tools to understand what you're seeing all around you right now. It's a fascinating time to be alive. Shout out, I think Dr. Kaufman's here too. I was just talking to him. So shout out to Dr. Kaufman. He's a legend.
I think this is the same guy that was talking about dinosaur bones earlier. I could be wrong.
So again, this is family friendly. I mean, not to a point. I mean, but you get it. I'm going to explain why I use the words I use in certain jokes without saying the words. It's not out of cowardice. It's because I want this shared. Today is called episode...
Stellar Sea Cow with 50 bits says, I just don't understand why people believe this. Like, it takes 2 seconds to confirm it's not true. If you have any critical thinking skills, but actual shit that's proven, like the prison industrial complex unfairly going after people of color, that's fake? Yeah, it's nuts. I don't understand these people either. It's weird.
849, Wizardry 101. How words become spells and spells become actions. And also, the truth of Field of Dreams. Is Crushman Bear here? All right, first off, let me give you a little taste, and then we will watch a little bit of Field of Dreams to show you guys what I'm talking about. And
What? We're gonna watch Field of Dreams? What does a fucking Kevin Costner baseball movie have to do with this?
We're also gonna talk about the Illuminati card game. The people that control the tax regions of the world have assets. And those assets are spells, words, ideas that have been created and planted that they can use. Like, just to give you a little, stealing the plans. Just real quick, just to give you a little taste. Today's episode is going to be incredible. The fact I didn't do a stream last night, I'm so excited to talk to you guys, which makes it a good vibe. But anyway, here's a new twist in the narrative. According to Routers, or Routers,
DK
whatever,
Cheese
monkeys
for
steal
following.
coronavirus blood samples in India. So Batman just became Planet of the Apes.
What? What about Batman?
By the way, this card game is from 1994. Let's get organized. The Whispering Campaigns. The Frog God of Pepper. All right, so hopefully this is intriguing you enough to stick with me here.
So does he think this Illuminati card game, which is probably a humorous tongue-in-cheek card game involving like this fake conspiracy of the Illuminati controlling everything? It seems like it's a game that you use to sort of battle each other with your own Illuminati secret whatever. You think this is somehow reflective of some real-life Illuminati? If there were an Illuminati, there is not, then why would they put the reality of their methods and organizational structure into a card game? Seems like a bad plan.
Let me just show you a couple others that I just put up that I couldn't find in my bear cave, but this was 1994, the Illuminati card game. Terrorist nuke, as you can see exactly in the World Trade Center where they're falling. Here's the Pentagon card.
Hold on, you can get the card game on Amazon. Let's take a look real quick. Amazon.com, Illuminati, the Game of Conspiracy. Control your own factions of the Illuminati, like the Discordant Society and the Servants of Cthulhu. Includes 110 cards, 2 custom dice, tokens, and rule sheet. $40. It's probably a fun game. I'm not a huge card game person, but yeah, it's probably a good time. And it looks like there's expansion packs. So, if that's something you're into, check it out. I don't know why the Illuminati would create a card game that explains their governmental structure.
You know, eat the rich. Here's the pizza for the secret meeting. Guys, this is before the internet even really existed.
Okay, but it's like a joke. We're having a meeting. We'll get pizza.
Okay. So I'm going to explain to you. I'm not just going to show you guys this just to get you freaked out. Wow, I remember those. They scare me. I'm going to show you how it
Yes, the World Trade Center was car bombed in 93.
isn't scary at all.
Maybe something they're referencing.
I'm going to give you the very power that these cards have. Are you intrigued yet? Okay, so they have spells. All of this is spellcraft. And then they get to lay down their cards. I'm going to say N-word instead of the word just because I want...
Oh, no. What? What? No. Ah. Why?
this shared. There's a reason why I would put that word in jokes, innocuous jokes, because one of the biggest cards they have is the race card, racism. As my friend, oh, I don't have my phone on me. Did I email it to myself? Let me read a quote to you guys. 1 second. God, I love when I'm this excited about a stream. I don't need it right now.
Why are you so excited about using racial slurs? I'm so confused. Graham Delfini with 245 bits from me and T-Dog. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
But basically, racism is the best card they have. It's the best. The racial divide spell is one of the best they have. So just like in Harry Potter, every spell has like a Horcrux. Is that what it's called? But it's in a word.
What? That's not what Harry Potter... Okay, no. In Harry Potter, a Horcrux is doing a specific action. It's been a long time since I read the books, and the movies aren't super clear on it, so it's tough to talk about. But a Horcrux is an object that you place part of your soul in. So Voldemort from Harry Potter has 7 Horcruxes, including his snake, the book from the Chamber of Secrets. There's a bunch of them. Every spell does not have a Horcrux, to my knowledge. A Horcrux is a specific thing. It's like a phylactery, yes, from D&D, a little bit. Except you can make multiple of them and it splits your soul. Whereas I'm pretty sure a phylactery just takes your soul when you die and places it within it.
And that word was the N-word. And we all know what that means. And I brought up the point that the word necrophilia is more offensive than the other N-word, so this doesn't make any...
What? Okay, for one thing, we're not gonna play a fucking game of which word is more offensive. But here's the thing. Necrophilia I can't believe I'm having to talk about this. Is a thing that doesn't happen very often. And yeah, you could make some crass joke about necrophilia, and everyone will think it's gross. Like, let's say you're doing an Aristocrats bit, if people know about the joke, the Aristocrats. You could be like, oh, necrophilia is something, whatever. The other N-word was used as a racial slur to describe people of color during a time when they were considered property within the United States and other places in the world, but I'm from the US, so I'm going to focus on the US. So that, I would argue, is more offensive because it was a word that was used often and regularly and was the preferred nomenclature used by white people to talk about what they considered their property. Jesus Christ.
Any sense unless you understand how...
Like, necrophilia is gross, but how do I put this in a way that's... That person is no longer living. Slavery involves taking the freedom away from a living person. Both are awful, but let's not play this game of what's more awful, shall we?
Spells work. And the only way to break the spell is to say the word without any reservation and without any malice. And you suffer for it, but in the end, it's great. I made a quick list of words. Terrorism, racism, pandemic, homophobia, white supremacy, teen pregnancy, gun control. If you go back and watch some of my old episodes about the Time magazine covers, these are all spells.
In what way are they spells? Because these are words that make you think about things in the world? That's not magic. That's how words work. It's a way to communicate ideas from one person to another. That's just how words work.
So, let's just take white supremacy. If anybody knows any white enthusiasts, and that was something I brought out into the mass consciousness to break that spell, because spells are all nonsense. And so if you say, can I be enthusiastic? about being white?
Oh no! Is he like a white supremacist on top of all this conspiracy nonsense? Oh, that's not a good combo to have in a personality. Coley Dim, thank you for following.
Or what's the difference? Can I just be enthusiastic? And people's programming doesn't kick in, so they're like, sure.
Do I just have, like, racist dog whistling? Because that's, like, absolutely it. Let me see. Vampires, thinly veiled anti-Semitism. No, that's not it. Cheese hot pocket numerology, expert ridiculous field of expertise, something false flag, the gay agenda, reptoids, chemtrails. No, I don't just have thinly veiled racism. That's a shame.
I don't know. As long as you're not a white supremacist. So can I be a white enthusiast?
Okay. I don't feel like I should have to explain this, but I will anyway. For those of you who don't understand, I imagine everyone here understands, but I'll say it for posterity anyway. The reason that people are okay with, like, black pride instead of white pride is a multifaceted topic. For one thing, if you're in the US and you're a white person, there's a good chance that your family has some semblance of where they are from specifically. So let's say you're Irish. You're a white person and your family's Irish. You can absolutely have Irish pride. You can have Scottish pride or German pride, whatever. Whatever your family's nationality was. However, unfortunately, due to how most people of color in the United States, how their families got here, records weren't kept, and they don't know specifically where their family is from in Africa. So, because of that, there's this general idea of black pride, right? It's the culture that was built by the varying peoples who were brought to this country as slaves and then later freed, and how they formed a culture unique to themselves here in the United States, right? Also, the reason you have black pride or whatever, or Hispanic pride, whatever, and you don't have white pride is the same reason that we have gay pride month, but we don't have straight pride. Because the default is already in this country that if you're straight, you've never been made to feel bad about your identity. However, if you're LGBTQIA+, whatever, you have been made to feel that way. And in fact, there's been a huge rights movement from Stonewall onward, and even before that, where people had to fight for their right just to exist in public life. That's what gay pride is about. It's not about just being proud to be gay. It's about being proud to be gay publicly without being discriminated against and without being forced to go back in the closet. Similarly, within the United States, for most of United States history, the culture was white and homogenous, right? I would argue it's a little more complicated than that, because you can see back in time, you of course had like Irish immigrants come and contribute to the culture and whatnot. But the reason you might have black pride is because within the United States, it's gotten better, but still, usually the things that are brought up as cultural touchstones, the things that are important to our culture, are usually products of sort of more white culture. White figures get put up on pedestals more often, right? You can look at this very simply. We've had one president who was half black, half white. All the rest are white dudes, right? So within the United States, if you are white, your culture, your belief system, whatever you want to call it, is already represented. That's why it's weird to say you have, like, white pride, which is really, in the case if you're bringing it up, is often and pretty accurately usually described as white supremacy. Because you're already being heard. Your viewpoint is already being represented. You don't need to come out here and be like, oh, I love being white. Like, okay, and Who cares? No one's telling you not to in the first place. So that's why people take issue with the idea of, like, white pride or white enthusiasm, because it's usually used as a dog whistle for white supremacy. Because if you feel like white people already aren't represented enough in this culture that is already so has such a deluge of, like, culture coming from white people, then it probably means that you think anything that isn't that shouldn't be here at all. Not always the case. Some people are legit just ignorant sometimes and don't understand what they're saying. But that's more or less, like, the reason that black pride or Hispanic pride or whatever is considered a cool thing in this country and white pride is not.
Can I be a height supremacist? Guys, there's a method to my madness. Hollywood did the controllers, Hollywood, whatever you want to call them, kind of messed up by banning a comedian whose father has a PhD in persuasion and rhetoric. Like, I know their tricks. And run, because the rabbit's got a gun. Okay, so this is how it all works. Anti-Semitism is another one. Are you anti-Semitic? They just regurgitate spells. And what we're seeing right now is very beautiful. Because two spells are colliding. The wizards are not giving each other space for their spells. I believe the wizards are deteriorating in power.
I'm gonna knock off thinly veiled anti-Semitism. I don't know if anyone has bingo yet. Let me know if you do.
So this is how it all works, and you can't do a joke about the N-word. You have to do a joke that just has it in it. About a bike and a boy. You understand? Okay, so why are these spells breaking down? Because when the two spells collide, the nonsense is revealed. And they're laying down too many cards at the same time. And these are assets, commodities. Just like someone can have rental property. Oh, I have rental income. Oh, I own a nail salon. The controllers of the world own words. They own spells. Let me just explain to you why I hate spelling and I'm an auditory person. Okay.
Frantic 31 says boom with 400 bits. Thank you.
Okay. Like when you go to your job, you commute, you earn a living during your week, and then you celebrate the weekend. And this is all written with a sentence, and you earn a salary, and you get currency, which is either liquid, frozen, underwater, cash flow, banks. All right, so anyway, let's get through this. So your
What? That was all nonsense.
Job is the same. It's a job. And for those of us that know the Bible, we know what that is. It's an infliction, it's pain, it's a test. Job. You're saying, I'm going to my job, and I'm going to earn, which, as we know, when you just hear it and you don't see the spelling of it, just bear with me.
I'm trying.
An urn is where you keep the ashes of a dead man.
Earn and earn, as in URN versus EARN, are spelled completely differently. Do you know what a homonym is?
A week. A work week. What does week mean? Without strength. A weekend. Do you see it yet? Okay, a sentence is a prison sentence, but you can commute your sentence. Okay, your salary comes from salt. Sal. It's how much. What is your worth in salt? Salt of the earth. You are given your salt by your job if you earn a living. Bang. And some of you haven't seen it yet. This is just the beginning of the episode. This is how to break down wizards. And I'm about to get into everything you're seeing. Yes, it's incredibly interesting. There's a reason that I refuse to stop saying the N-word, and I'm only censoring myself intentionally.
Please stop saying it. Stop saying it.
It's my intention. It's because I want you to be able to share this. Because just like in Harry Potter, every spell needs a Horcrux. Every spell has an Achilles heel.
If you're going to talk about Harry Potter, at least know what do you think a Horcrux is?
Do you see it yet? Sealing. How to seal someone in their house. A sealing. One. Week, right? Son. The Son of God. Okay, look at money.
Frantic31 says, "Oh God, this guy sounds like every self-important hotep I've ever had the displeasure of conversing with." Yeah.
The currency. So then you have electricity and water. Currency. So just like water, it's either liquid or it's frozen.
There should be a space for fake etymology.
You're either underwater, you have a cash
I actually didn't make the bingo card. Someone else did. So
flow with the banks of a river. Okay. Dude, you're already intrigued, I know it. And I'm about to show you how you're controlled. It's with words, that's why it's called spelling. And you write it with cursive. Okay, so
I can look up the You can look up the etymology of words. Let's find out what the etymology of cursive is.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Thank you, Yvonne, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Cursive, adjective, in reference to writing in which the letters are joined and formed rapidly without lifting the pen or pencil. In 1784, the French cursive, from medieval Latin cursivus, meaning running, from Latin cursus, a running, from the past participle of currere, to run. The notion of written with a running hand without raising the pen originally, as opposed to the older uncial hand. So it's because it has its origins in the Latin for to run, and it's like your hand's running. It's moving very quickly. It's going without. Seems easy.
I'm a master of rhetoric. And you know that because Vox Day openly says that, and he's very snooty. He doesn't usually throw around compliments, unless it's like, he's a very snooty man. So I take that uber, I love that he says that. But it's true. I know a lot about rhetoric. And here's the thing. Let's define rhetoric. Rhetoric is basically the amplifiers around a dialectic. Dialectic is precision, truth. Like you're just trying to say X equals 5. Rhetoric is the fancy bows around it to make people listen and understand it. We're used to thinking rhetoric is bad because of the concept of empty rhetoric. Where you say, like a rhetorical question is a question that the asker has no intention of being answered. How hard is it to not be a Nazi? Why does every white person have racist undertones? Why does everybody in Poland hate Jews? Or no, that one, I don't know if that one works.
What the fuck is this?
How hard is it to not be a Nazi? Obama said about Trump. Genius.
Yeah. It's a pretty good point. It's not difficult. I do it every day.
Because now this is genius wizardry, but it's so easy when you understand it. This is why it's so easy for me to spot gammas and wizards. How hard is it to not...
I really hope I'm a wizard. A witch, really. That'd be pretty rad.
Be a wizard. Okay, so now
I'm getting a cat, so the cat can be my familiar.
First impression cements it. Or how hard is it to not be a Nazi? Your first question cements it. Oh, Trunk's a Nazi. He never said Trunk is a Nazi, because that would have liability. Okay, if you say Trunk is a Nazi and you prove he isn't a Nazi, you're now liable because you just...
I don't know why he's saying trunk. I think he's afraid that if you use the word Trump, that it's going to fuck up your place in the YouTube algorithm. I don't know if there's any bearing on that. The YouTube algorithm does search for, like, the words in your video using the same system that auto captions videos to try and see if there's anything offensive or anything controversial that they don't want to put you, high up in the rankings. But I don't know if the president's name is one.
Slander to man. I don't know if slander is in print or the other way. I don't really care. Okay, if you say, how hard is it to not be a Nazi? The answer is not very hard at all. But the seed had been planted, and it's a lie, and that's a rhetorical question. I'm about to prove that the best rhetoric is in fact the truth. We'll get to that. So the art of wizardry is to say things that make you believe something and feel something that isn't true, but you know it to be true. Like, take example.
So you think persuasive speaking is wizardry? That's not what that word means.
This current spell that we're seeing, Officer Chauvin, which is 3 letters away from chauvinist.
Okay, that's just a coincidence. And chauvinism is different than racism, right? If his name was Officer Racy, then maybe you could be like, oh, this is... But chauvinistic is a different thing than racist. Just because both things bad doesn't mean they're the same word. They're not synonyms.
With Rodney King, or was it OJ, Officer Coon. Guys, these are spells. And then people say, oh, so it didn't happen? Oh, it happened. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Avoid those pitfalls in this wonderful game of breaking spells. Officer Chauvin, 3 letters away from chauvinist. Officer Coon. Was Officer Coon racist? You understand? We're building subterranean belief. So now you have people arguing about police brutality. That's a spell. White is a spell. All of it's a spell. So that's why the spell...
Any word that means anything is a spell, apparently. I'm gonna go get my Merriam-Webster spell book, and we can learn wizardry together, I guess.
That, I told the people, a man killed a man. Listen, you can debate. Did they know each other? Was it a deep fake? From what I saw in that video, a man killed a man. And
okay, one of the men was a police officer. Context matters.
And if you just put it down to that, all these reactions are illogical. So a man killed a man, so I'm going to burn down an AutoZone. Of course not. It's absurd. So this is how these spells work. And so now we're at a place where people are debating, do we shoot the looters? Is looting a capital crime? Guys, a man killed a man. And whether or not that was real, whether or not it was CGI, you don't even know. But in the end of the day, what jacket he's wearing, how much pigment is in their skin, it doesn't matter with the Floyd was a porn star. It doesn't matter. Dude, Floyd may not have existed, Molly Bear.
Oh my god, he's like a fucking denier, too. Okay, look, Benjamin, it would be great if we lived in a world where these things don't matter, and they shouldn't matter. The color of someone's skin should have no bearing on how they are treated by the police. I agree. But we live in reality where, unfortunately, it is the fact, especially in the United States of America, that police officers treat people of color disproportionately poorly and often injure or kill them at a much higher rate than they do their white counterparts, right? That's a reality that you need to face. Just because it makes you uncomfortable talking about this stuff doesn't mean it's someone casting a magic spell on you. It means perhaps somewhere deep down you have a conscience and an understanding that these things are wrong and that something needs to change, but some part of you is afraid, so instead you choose to label these things as false flags. By the way, he's calling these things false flags even though he's not using the word, so false flag operation on your bingo card. Calling these things false flags is a way for you to ignore the reality of what's going on around you in order to try and ignore the fact that real change needs to be spurred within the institutions in this country. Stop claiming wizards did it. It's never wizards.
And I'll have fun with you guys if you want to talk to conspiracies and stuff. That's always great. But in the end of the day, I'm a wizard slayer. And that's why I'm here, and I'm about to slay some freaking wizards for you guys today. Okay, so let me show you some levels of wizardry to this. Okay, like here we have a great wizard slaying meme. Interracial violent crime incidents 2018, and then you see the camera focused on just one, and then you have the Star of David on the man's back.
Oh my god, this is a fucking Nazi meme. This is a fucking Nazi meme.
Breaks one spell, but not the next one.
Again, this doesn't mean anything. Incidents on black on white crime are higher. Guess why? For 2 reasons. Socioeconomic factors leading to higher crime rates within the inner cities. Again, not due to race, but due to the fact that within this country we have deep-seated institutional racism issues that have created communities of lower income that unfortunately are mostly full of minorities. But also, there are more white people in the country. So if crimes are committed randomly against certain races, whatever it might be, any race against any other race, if you spin a wheel with a bunch of races on it, and it's in proportion to the races and their proportion within the United States, more often than not, it's going to come up white because there are more white people in this country. Statistics are not hard to understand.
It's a spell Ponzi
Jesus.
scheme. Like, I think, you know, the quote-unquote Illuminati, Zionism, whatever you want to call it, it's the world's oldest Ponzi scheme. And it just keeps going, oh, more spells, more spells. Okay.
Freezeburn says, oh heck, you took the Mage Slayer feat.
Protect
Protect yourselves, fellow witches and wizards.
Oh, well, there's more, and there's more, and it shouldn't affect your reaction whatsoever. Well, you're more likely in the stats. Guys, we all know stats are easy to manipulate.
Yes, you're literally looking at a fucking white supremacist meme that is using these statistics in an incredibly dishonest way.
Okay, this breaks the spell that there's no correlation between a certain group of people and the media. Of course there is, and this is exactly what they're doing. Now, the next spell is, does it even matter? Of course not, but that's okay. This is still a valuable spell break. But there's layers of it. I'll show you a wonderful spell break. This is genius. I wish this person had bear at the end of their name so that we can bring it back home to the good guys, but I understand that...
Anyone calling Charlie Kirk brilliant is... How do I put this? They've lost their right to say they're anything but an idiot. That's rude, and it's not an argument. It's a complete ad hoc. But Charlie Kirk is so stupid.
Learning how to break spells. So Charlie Kirk says, burning an American city to the ground won't bring back George Floyd. Doing a spell. And now a spell breaker emerges. Bombing Middle East countries won't undo 9/11. Okay, that's spell breaking. That's why they have to ban spell breakers and wizard slayers like me, and this legend will probably be banned. But that
Does calling himself a wizard slayer make him feel better about the fact that he's probably unemployed? And I say this as someone who does streaming for a living, so I can say that.
that's fine. That's fine. Mass consciousness.
I'm not unemployed. I'm a wizard breaker. Tell someone that. Let's see how it goes. I hunt wizards.
Is awaking to it because the wizards are throwing down too many cards. Too many.
Oh, no. What's up?
Somebody got bingo.
Oh, somebody got bingo?
Yeah.
Who?
Raznet.
Raz. That one?
Scroll up, and you'll be able to see. Scroll. Go down, down. Right there.
Raz Netjaret. Let me find them. Raz Netjaret. Awesome. And you confirmed it?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okay. It looks like you already have a sub, so I'll write your name down, and when your sub is up, let me know, and I will get you your next month's sub on me. So that's the winner of bingo today. Of course, we can still play for fun. Oh, that's my D&D stuff. But that is the winner for this week's bingo. Where the heck is that page where I put... There we go. Raz Net Jarrett. Congratulations.
Sorry it took me so long to verify chat. I was playing Skyrim.
Many spells. Oh, just throw this down. Oh, like here is a
Nothing funny
great.
about the tools of capitalism.
Milfsat Taco Bell, thank you for gifting a sub.
Right here. For those of you just listening, the pandemic isn't working anymore. Go ahead and start the race war. Dr. Evil. Doesn't work because when spells are laid at the same time, you can see it all unfolding. So the reason I went so hard at the rollerblading incident, the black-white narrative, all this stuff, is because they're assets. And there's a reason I've been so broke, like I didn't get broken, I got stronger, but there's a reason I was so attacked. Because I'm breaking their assets, their real estate, their chain.
Or, and consider this, because you bring up things and rant like a crazy person, and I don't mean that as a derogative. It genuinely seems like you are finding connections where there aren't any in sort of a schizophrenic way, like a paranoid schizophrenic way, and you could probably benefit from proper medication. Again, not in a derogatory way, just in an honest, you probably need some help sort of way.
Like, I'll show you another one. Like,
because this isn't average conspiracy thinking. This is like, literally like a beautiful mind, red string trying to connect stuff. Conspiracy.
So the controllers will lay down spells. Let's get organized. Spell. Like, I'll tell you a little something. You want some baseline spell breaking. And the reason the bears are so absurdly effective, one of the many reasons, is because we tell each other what we actually see. And with our bear names, we can slowly become... oh, Mel just sent me something. Yeah, I already have this meme, my friend. Check this out. Broadcasting. Okay,
some info on Owen Benjamin. Let's take a look at his Rational Wiki real quick. Owen Benjamin, a.k.a. Owen Smith, a.k.a. Big Bear, is an alt-right internet personality, actor, pseudoscience promoter, racist, comedian, and straight-up neo-Nazi. He's built an insane cult of internet followers known as, quote, bears. That's a little unfair. Don't take that from, like, the real bears. Benjamin reaches thousands a day on its live streams and was featured in several PragerU videos. This guy's been on PragerU. Classy PragerU, as usual. He has a lifetime ban from InfoWars, and Alex Jones considers him far too anti-Semitic. If even InfoWars thinks you're batshit, maybe take a step back and reconsider. He was disinvested from Tommy Robinson's event in the United Kingdom for his extremist anti-Jewish views. He also used to be buddy-buddy with Steven Crowder until he fucked that up, too. On December 4th, 2019, Benjamin's YouTube channel was terminated for trying to circumvent the TOS. Good. Benjamin is a Holocaust denier and a Hitler fan. Of course he is. What an ass. And it goes without saying he is a hardcore anti-Semite. According to Benjamin, Hitler wasn't evil and didn't hate the Jews. Hitler just wanted to clean Germany of its filth and parasites. Oh, this guy's like a Nazi. That's not great. Ugh. What a dick.
Broadcasting. And so when people say, oh, it's hiding in plain sight, it's not hiding. It's in plain sight. Broadcasting. It's auditory. That's why all the triggers for MK Ultra subjects are auditory.
That's right.
Auditory. Broadcasting. Guys, there are rules to this realm. They can't lie to you.
Joey Ravioli, thank you for following.
Casting. Broadcasting.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
Okay.
capitalism.
They can't, they're not allowed to lie. It's not because lies don't work. Okay,
Ask
the greatest
CompU says,
rhetoric
I
is
got
the
similar
truth.
Nazi
So you have the
ideas
truth,
after I broke
which
up.
I believe
Oh, my
is
ex
logos,
got
the
similar
word of
Nazi
God.
ideas after I broke with them
You are.
because they were
I am,
abusive.
like,
Ew.
I am.
Sorry to hear
That's
that.
why I'm so, God.
People will go down, like, serious alt-right Nazi paths so quick these days. I don't understand it. Is it just are they just preying on the insecurity of people, or what? I guess I just don't get it.
Fearing is because when you trace all the spells back, there's one source. I am. Who am? God the Most High. Oh, now you lost me. I don't care. Go to the Daily Wire. Enjoy yourself. I'm breaking spells here. So, broadcasting. They're telling you what it is. Programming. They're saying they are programming you with broadcasting. So it's your job to detach. Okay, so this is why the bears are so ridiculously offensive. Not offensive, effective. And why sometimes I'll have mini spirals and ban everybody, and then they come back with 2.0 and we all become buddies and have a fire and enjoy ourselves, is because it's very valuable to be here. It's an incredible community. And if you're here long enough, you understand the pressures I'm under, and my occasional spirals are understand it, and people just are like, okay. But anyway, so here's this. 1 second. I should have set this up earlier. I'll do a keyword search. A bear's eyes and ears in Minneapolis. I'll leave out a lot of information, but points of interest. All right, here we go. Last night, May 28th, a client of my neighbor was on a flight back from California, and the plane was packed with quote-unquote thugs. They put so many on the flight that the guidelines to keep the middle seat empty were ignored. The flight was packed. They had no luggage, did
That's not even a dog whistle. That's a bullhorn.
not have masks on, and did not get anything to drink. They were accompanied by 2 men in the front and in the back of the plane who seemed like handlers. A different friend that lives in Roseville, another suburb directly in the middle of Minneapolis, said police were monitoring a Hotel 6 off the highway because a lot of out-of-state agitators were staying there. We all know that no one is taking vacations right now, especially not in ugly-ass Roseville. All right, I'll just... Give me 1 second. So this says... All right, I just don't want to reveal anything. She met a black dude in a park on a walk with her husband. Wanted to chat up the dude to say where his head was at, so I asked him what happened. They found a dead body in the lake 2 blocks from my house. Time will tell if this is related or not, because probably not. But he said his wife and daughter were downtown, and they said during the day everyone was cool and peaceful. At night, a whole different crowd came out. I told him about the plane, and he legit looked surprised, but said that makes sense. He wasn't wearing a mask, by the way. That's all I got. Cheers. Okay, so abandon the black-white conflict narrative immediately. Total nonsense. And also abandon despair and say, oh, it's all falling apart. But guys, as a wizard slayer, it's going terribly for them. Terrible. Right now, they have these assets, and these assets are falling apart because of people like the great Dr. Kaufman and myself, James True, Vox Day, Crow 777, Dave White. It's everywhere. And these are just my friends. And the censorship it hurts you in the points game of the Illuminati card game. When you censor people, it reveals your hand. But you have to censor wizard slayers because it's so crazy obvious. Like, look at this right here. This is just beautiful wizard slaying. Burning an American...
Okay,
powerful.
I gotta skip
This
ahead
sentence-
to the end, because I am so over him.
And so, the baseline of who you are as a people is a prayer. The closer you are to life and death, the closer you are to trauma, the closer you are to real...
Okay, fuck this guy. Alright, we've been going for about 4 hours now. I'm going to put a link to the YouTube channel in the chat. Go over and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to, after the stream, edit this up and put all the highlights on there. Of course, you can find all my past streams and the various playlists that they're organized into. So thank you, everyone, for coming to the stream today, especially anyone new who may have come over from the Surfs stream when they raided earlier. If you haven't already and you liked what you saw, feel free to follow. Tomorrow, I will be back for Chud Watch. Thank you for following SNROC Syncratutaf. It's the best I got.